Take another year off, backseat some black holes, sagging with my pants low, calling me an asshole. Got it in my blood, I try my best to keep it down low, but I don't give a fuck if I get stuck here with my bad soul.
Welcome to East Coast DNA. Your host Darcy Walsh here again, and today I have another guest that I met down at Shoebox Cantina, but they're calling in from New Brunswick today. So the band Green Eyes Witch Hands, but we've only got the two members here, but I do understand that you are the two core songwriters of the material that eventually becomes a live show as well.
Yeah.
So William and your brothers, but I don't know your brother's name.
Nicolas.
Nicolas. So William and Nicolas, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you.
So I mentioned you guys were here in Glasgow, so you have played in Nova Scotia. I've mentioned that you're in New Brunswick right now, physically today.
Yeah.
I do know from talking to you when I met you guys as a full band, you also have some touch points in Ontario and Prince Edward Island. You've kind of got a good chunk of Canada under your belt as far as contacts and locations for different members of the band. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a lot of different than what we have typically on the show too. A lot of Nova Scotia based bands and a lot of Prince Edward Island based bands are people from smaller communities. Even if it's one of our major cities, they're still smaller on the global scale, I guess, and usually pretty tight knit community of musicians that a lot of the bands have interchangeable members as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, as far as the formation of your band, were your brothers, it makes sense that it would have started with the two of you as the core, but how long have you been active as this project of Green Eyes Witch Hands?
We started like our first like recordings in 2019. Like right before the pandemic. Like we always music together, but we like this kind of like sound, like this kind of like focused thing. We just sort of like discovered like how we would do that right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And there was no like intention of playing live or anything yet. We're like more so at that time just like wanted to make like just always into recording and like creating kind of albums and stuff for fun. And then uh yeah, we made the first album like I guess into 2020 and then put that out, and we were still just a recording project, I guess, and then we only started playing live last summer once we like got a band together.
That's actually amazing for what I actually saw you perform. So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
So your background before you started the project, then, like, you were both individually musicians? Like, did you come from a musical family?
Not quite. No. They all love music.
Yeah.
They're like very supportive and everything. Very always music played around the house for sure. But nobody or like played as in like off an iPod.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that also kind of like plays like we have like a huge like respect of recorded music. Like at the end of the day, like we like it's like an album or a single, like that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
like really about and into, at least the two of us. And um but yeah, we kind of made our own things like individually. Like I did kind of like, yeah, I guess it's like hyper pop kind of style stuff, like that kind of like 2020s kind of sound or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
it's so like in that era, like you were digging like Machine Gun Kelly and stuff like that, or like Post Malone, or like, is that the type of thing you're looking for?
kind of like like 100 gex and stuff. You
Okay,
heard
yeah.
that
So,
was like a huge influence at the time for sure.
and now when you went into a project together where I mean, the timing of it worked out that you had a lot of alone time to work on something like that as well. So it sounds like, and I'm trying to remember which parts of this conversation we already had and which parts are part of this episode, but the sound does have like soundscapes, and it's not a completely synthetic sound, but there's synth overlays in there. Like it's definitely, you feel that vibe, and the vocals themselves, as I did mention to you when we were talking one-on-one, that I did pick up like that you have modulation, or maybe it's auto-tuned as modulation. But yeah, over the last couple of years, I've grown a deeper appreciation for those things being used. The way I liken it is like, and it's probably to the credit of somebody I interviewed, so I apologize if somebody else is like, hey, that's what I said. But yeah, like using effects pedals on a guitar, people are now at the point where they're using the different effects on the voice a little bit more in that style, instead of just doing it as a completely, we used to say overproduced for like the music snobs that were into indie music and didn't like the pop music. We just referred to it as all overproduced. So I mean, I still probably do say that for some music. I'm not as much of a rock snob as I used to be, but yeah, I definitely probably do use that term, but I've grown a deeper appreciation for the effort that it takes to do production, and the fact that you're not hiding a flaw in the music, you're just making a new sound.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the open-mindedness because not
Well,
everybody's into
Yeah.
it, but I thank you.
yeah, and so kind of to that point, obviously, anybody that can figure out what demographic I would fit into, a lot of the guys I would have hung out with over the years going to concerts would not be super keen to go see a new band that I described in any which way like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's fans out there, and I can always find people in the crowd when I go out. But when I did go to see you perform, that wasn't exactly what I was getting on stage. And what I was getting on stage, I wouldn't label it as better, but it was awesome. And they're both at a quality level. It's not like something was missing,
Right.
it was a different sound. So, one, I did give you a compliment afterwards that you don't really need any of the modulation. You have a great singing voice up there. Anyway, the songs sound great that way. But I am curious, with the addition of more band members and more instruments, was the addition of having the option for more live instrumentation, did that make it easier to kind of step away from some of the effects that you were using when you're doing it at home behind the scenes?
Yeah. I mean, like our process of making things is like it's with a computer. Like it's an acoustic guitar and a computer most of the time. And then it's still all like live instrumentation, but we chop it up a lot and like
Mhm.
sort of do all these
Mhm.
things. But we wanted to do it live for a while, and like we couldn't figure out how to. Some of the songs we didn't even know how to play anymore.
Yeah.
So like I'm like asking Nick, it's like Nick, today you gotta relearn this one, this one, this one, and like
Well, that answered my question that I was going to have, but what it was, just because it's topical, I was thinking, have you tried incorporating like looping pedals and that type of thing? Because I've seen people doing that with the vocals too, using the looping, live recording it while they perform and then looping it through for the song.
we had
Obviously, a whole different skill set if you've never done it before.
We thought originally to do that, but I think, at least with me personally, I liked the thought of like a big band and the
Mhm.
music itself very well. It's just a lot of layers. It's very so that was very romantic to have a bunch of people on stage,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
people would like even more. I think that was it.
Yeah, we kind of just want like a big, I don't know, there's a bunch of different kinds of like live setups that we want to try, but the dream, like Nick said, is like this like huge
Yeah.
band that's just like a wall of sound of like, you know, like like right now we have like Kata plays harp, and that's like super fun because there's like just like new textures and stuff. But
Hmm.
we to be able to like, I don't know, the songs are like kind of a lot of them are very loopy, like loop based in nature, and it's just about like adding and subtracting textures. So I just think like having more and more musicians would be like super sick. It would just be like fun to do it that way. And the people we play with now are awesome. Like uh we play with Hayden Ronalds on acoustic guitar, Drew Casabo on bass, and Kata Enright on harp. And it's like a lot of the like we wouldn't be able to do these, like the live show's awesome because they helped craft that. Like they're super
Hmm.
intense, like creating, because like the songs are just like they're almost different songs on stage. And that's like fun for us because it's like these songs we made in like 2019 or 2020 with one guitar and
Mhm.
a computer,
Yeah.
and then to do it with like a full, like almost more than a full band is like really exciting and really fun. So yeah.
And how did you go about selecting those particular people? Like, obviously, you have been playing for a little bit of time together, but you do have, and the reason I said that it was kind of impressive a year in is that you already have an onstage chemistry. Like, you can tell that you guys are picking up on cues from each other, and you had a really, I want to say tight. Everyone loves to hear that they had a tight set, but you guys have kind of almost a jam band feel that's a little tighter than the loose parts of what most jam bands would have, but you still have that fluidity to it. Like I could almost see that you could all of a sudden have the song break out into a harp solo and it wouldn't impact the song. You guys
Yeah.
would just find a way to let that happen and then work back into it. Like you do have that kind of motion and fluidity, I guess, to the music when you're on stage. So is that changing anything in the way you write? Like, are you envisioning now with future recordings that like, oh, I might want to get somebody in for a day of sessions to capture some different instrumentation to incorporate into the final mixes?
Yeah, kind of like the next the project we've been working on is definitely more guitar, or I don't want to say guitar, but more live kind of focus, or at least like
Hmm.
we're keeping that in mind a little bit, like how these songs might feel live, where we never even started to think about that before. But with the new stuff we're doing, it's a little bit more it's like, oh, how would this translate on stage? Like that's definitely a part of it.
Switching a
And
little bit from experimental to calculate it. So kind of
yeah, a
find a
little,
balance there.
we want to make something really like kind of punchy and like a little bit more, it's like kind of rock like the new stuff, but like our take on that. But yeah, and also it's kind of the first time that songs that we're working on, we're like showing to like the other members, like when we play them, we've like played them with them, we've played these songs with some other friends, and like it gives us ideas like
Yeah.
beyond what we could come up with, and it like that's super valuable too. So
And I kind of talked over top of giving you any room to answer, but as far as picking the individual people that you had now, was that a targeted thing? Like, did you know them as musicians and you thought, oh, I would really like to have their sound? Or did you know them as people and you thought, I'd really like to work with them?
yeah, so Kate, just like real quick, like I'll like bust out like the three of them. Like
Yeah.
Kata's my girlfriend, and is just like an insane musician and harp player. And at first we had her play keyboard, um, because we weren't. I think we weren't as confident in our like live setup
Mhm.
yet.
Hmm.
Thought that we would be bad, and then everybody would be just listening to the harp. But then we felt a little better, and we switched her over to harp. and I'm super excited about that. And then Hayden Ronalds on acoustic guitar. He's been like one of my best friends just for a super long time. Always worked on music together, and yeah, super. It really just had like the right style of playing guitar too. Like
Hmm.
really like complemented what we were doing. And Drew Casabo, I went to school with in NPI at Holland College, and I would like play with him in like ensembles in school and stuff, and just thought he was like a really really smart player and like a really smart arranger, which is kind of like what we needed to get these songs from
Sure.
computer to like the live setup. So there's a lot of things that are like just like quick decisions that he would make when we start doing it
Yeah.
that like really shaped it. And like I don't know, he's got like a really really good ear for that kind of stuff. And so yeah, that's why. And I think like as we've been playing, especially that show at the Shoebox, we felt like that was like we're just like we're very much bonding as a band. We're becoming we're all close already, but as a band, and it's cool. It's been fun.
Well, like I said, it definitely came across from the audience. Like you could tell that you guys were working together. So yeah, that's very exciting. It sounds like based on the personal roots to the connections for the band too, that those are going to be people that you continue to incorporate moving forward. So a couple, I guess, more rapid fire questions. The name itself, Green Eyes, Witch Hands, and as a part B to that, I like anyone that goes and looks and sees your logo, there's like the little green face. You also, I noticed at the show, have that as like a mask or a helmet.
Mhm.
So yeah, what's the meaning behind the name? Where did it come from? Who's your character? What's the
Well,
story?
you can talk about the guy because you did.
The guy, it started when we were both doing like our own thing. William, I used to draw a lot when I was
Hmm.
younger. So I'm always appointed as the one to draw things for William. So William wanted me to do some art for something he was working on, and then eventually he just wanted that cartoon head, and we had that, and then he used it for the project, and then eventually we came back to it, and William knew someone that could do 3D rendering, and then we got had it
Yeah,
all done up. So
That's fun.
just ended up kind of very iconic looking, and that was the purpose from it from the beginning, and it worked with everything and how it sounded. And
yeah. We wanted it to look like it could be. We just wanted it to be like a strong logo, like outside of a band, like not even necessarily a band logo, but almost look like a tech logo or
Hmm.
something, or like some kind of I don't know, just that kind of feel. And then the name is similar, where it's kind of like wanted to do something that didn't necessarily quite sound like a band. Like I liked like the idea of like it sounding like a book, like
Hmm.
like a kind of longish, slightly convoluted kind of title. But
I would have thought that I would have got hung up on the comma. Like as somebody that's constantly typing out stuff with band names in it, I would have thought that the logical part of my brain would really be hung up on that. Because the first time I saw it, I was like, is that two bands? And then I was like, no, it's one. And then that was it didn't bother me again after that. So
thank you for noticing the comma too.
it's
yeah.
very important.
Yeah, the comma is important to us.
Actually,
So
when it comes down to like royalties and stuff, like if you guys keep going with this project, like that does matter more than people realize. Like the syntax could make you not fit into a report and you might not get paid. So
yeah, there's we have
remember your
some
punctuation, kids. You got to keep the punctuation.
yeah. So just wanted to kind of read like a book title, and it was just two songs that I had made prior. That one was called Green Eyes, one was called Witch Hands, and they kind of just I don't know, they were very different than what we make now, but it kind of just stuck. And then that was around the same time that we started making this kind of stuff. And when it came time to think of a title for it, that was just like it just felt right. So
And you have your releases on Bandcamp?
yeah, they're on all streaming and Bandcamp. Bandcamp has like those are kind of like the real versions because there's like extra songs and stuff like that on them and extended versions and all that.
Yeah, I did see one of them said Bandcamp exclusive right on it, and there was a couple bonus tracks.
Yeah.
So if people want to check you out, obviously they can go listen on Spotify. If they want some deeper material, Bandcamp can deliver, and they can throw you a few bucks, which is nice.
That would be nice.
Going forward, do you have plans to record some of the new material, or you looking at more tour dates in the next few months?
Yeah, we got I don't know if we can maybe shouldn't say I don't know if they're for sure yet, but possibly 2 dates in December coming up. Still just kind of like grabbing what we can, playing as much as we can when we're all in the same place. Um, the music, quite a bit of it is recorded, like the new stuff, because we're always doing it. And we're working on some video stuff as well,
Exciting.
which is like pretty fun. It's fun to like dive headfirst like into that side of it, like really try and because like we're not super skilled video men, but we're like really trying to do something that's like that we would like and stand behind. So that everything will probably come around May or June, probably not earlier than that, but we're working on a lot of stuff that we like. So
That's really exciting. So YouTube channel, is that something people should be looking for?
yeah, there's a YouTube channel, no videos on it yet, but there will
Yeah,
be.
so
Yeah,
keep an eye for content to come, or subscribe now and be front of the line.
exactly.
And everyone that's watching this must already be subscribed to the YouTube channel for East Coast DNA. But if you're not, there's bonus live footage up there too. So go click subscribe on that too while you're checking these guys out. And as far as keeping up to date with updates on the band throughout the year, I know most bands are using Instagram, and you're on Instagram. Is that the primary source for updates?
Yeah, that's definitely the main spot to find what we're doing.
Excellent. So we'll definitely send people there as well. And this episode, some people might actually be watching this one on Instagram because we host
Cool.
them on Instagram and Facebook on top of all of the other streaming platforms now. So if you can't find this show, you're not looking for it. I'll tell you that much. So I mentioned to you guys earlier too, some of the live performance. We will be featuring some of that on the YouTube channel in the foreseeable future. So anyone that likes these two gentlemen, definitely keep an eye out for that. And if you were watching this and you're like, did they say harp? Did they say there was a harp on stage? Yep, it's in the videos. So hit subscribe, keep an eye out for that. And I am curious as well with you guys. You had mentioned Holland College, and I know a little bit about you guys now outside of this episode too. So is there plans, like there's school factors involved with some members of the band, and where you're kind of scattered all over the place because of your responsibilities and commitments outside of music? Is there like a light at the end of the tunnel? Do you have a timeline where you see like, oh, in like a year or two, nobody's going to have those commitments anymore, and we're going to find one part in the country that we all live?
I mean, I think that's what we want for sure.
Yeah,
We just we gotta. I don't know about everybody, the other members, if I can't speak for if they
sure.
if
Yeah,
they want to like dedicate their life to it, but we definitely do,
Yeah.
and we want to make it so we would want to make it so um everybody could, like,
Yeah.
that would be the goal, to make it so it's like a sustainable kind of creative outlet.
It's kind of nice for you guys to kind of start the way that you're starting, because you're not going to get to a point where you're like, well, I'm moving away, so the band has to break up. Like, you already know it can be managed the way you're doing it. So if anything, any changes like that would just make it more efficient in the future.
Yeah, I think also, like, we just kind of, I think honestly, like, even if one of us weren't there, like, we'd still, like, the show could still happen. Like, the other three members could do the band, and like somebody else could sing, and it could be cool. So, like, I don't know. I hope that we could just continue and just like let it morph into whatever it can.
Well, I'm really excited about those things that you're saying, because it makes it sound more like the Mars Volta or something like that. That's more, they're a really good band, but it almost seems more like an art project or like a collective type thing where it's constantly evolving. And
Yeah,
the brand new EP that you're just rocking out to at home, when you go see them live, it's not necessarily going to sound the same as what you heard at home.
for sure.
So
That's
it's, the future of live music depends on variety too, right? So
right.
that's really exciting. It gives you a unique advantage over some people in the digital era, where people are striving to sound like they did on Spotify.
Right.
And they want that tight sound, so that someone's like, oh, you nailed it. It sounds exactly like the CD. Or I guess people aren't listening to the CD as much, but
Right.
it sounds a lot like the CD I would have put in if I had a CD player, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you guys do have plans for the future. We will send people out to follow you on social media. We do have more content outside of this interview coming here to our YouTube channel, but I also would like to make sure that you guys reach out in the future, give me an update on what's going on with the band. I'm assuming recording to release is a more complicated process than I'm appreciating in my head right now. So you might not have an immediate update, but definitely reach out and let me know what's going on with the band.
For
And
sure.
if you guys end up landing in Ontario, remember that you know the guy from East Coast DNA, so I can maintain your East Coast cred.
Absolutely.
We'll make sure that you're still referred to as an East Coast band down here.
Yep.
Well, I'm very excited to hear more from you guys, but for listeners that have been following along and they want to know what the sound is that we've been describing this whole time, is there a song from your catalog that you would like to tag into the end of this episode?
What do you think?
Dummy?
Yeah, I would say Dummy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So everyone stay tuned. You can have a nice audio listen. And in a couple weeks time, probably you'll see some live footage from these guys, and links down below for anyone that wants to find them out on Bandcamp. Spotify's easy enough. I'm sure there's not too many bands out there called Green Eyes Witch Hands. You might even get away with just putting a comma in and seeing how many bands come up. I bet you it's a short list.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, thanks again for your time. And we'll be looking for you coming back down on the East Coast with some live dates in probably late spring, early summer. I'm gonna assume maybe when school wraps up that there's an option to get some of you guys down here.
Yeah, we'll be around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Drop me in the think tank. You done it, index. I don't fit it. Come out thinking, what did I do wrong? Is it a virtue? Are you an anomaly? Bullets in a fursuit. Don't get close to me. Eyes are caught enough to lie the fear of owning me. Take another year off, backseat some black holes, sagging with my pants low, calling me an asshole. Got it in my blood, I try my best to keep it down low, but I don't give a fuck if I get stuck here with my bad soul. Don't touch it, don't touch it.